Okay. Welcome, everyone, to our first Zoom community meeting. Thank you guys all for coming. And um, I'm working through the tech stuff because it is just really not my strong suit. So if anyone wants to put in the chat something that's wrong and to alert me, please let me know. So, welcome to my community. I'm so excited for this. So I just thought I would start out with some basic, um, we're going to get into, as I said, how the energies on Earth are paralleling the movie How to Train Your Dragon, which I just saw with all the kids, my nieces and nephews, and my own kids this past June. But we're just going to start with a basic, just refresher on frequency and vibration super, super quickly, and how it relates to all the energies on Earth and what we're all co-creating here together. So the frequency is basically like a radio channel that you guys, that all of us are emitting. So we can have several radio channels. We can have like an overriding radio channel, but it's the energy coming out of our fields at all times. And and our energy is eternal. And right now, a fundamental basis of anything I'm going to be talking about is that we are all energy expressed in matter right now. So we are in matter, we can feel ourselves, all of that. But at the core essence, we are just energy constantly. And sort of when we come here, we don't really, we just think we're our body and that's it. And we live and we die and we're done. And so second fundamental concept, I guess, as we go forth, is the concept of reincarnation and also the concept that we exist in many different dimensions, many different areas of the universe, all at the same time. So our energy is very important. We just have lost connection to that insight when we're born here on this earth, currently in the third dimension. So that out of the way, frequency and vibration. Our frequency is what we are emanating. And if you can think of it as like waves coming off of your body, the higher the frequency, the waves are moving faster, 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 more towards light, which is the bridge to New Earth. It is the influx of light on our planet and also in our bodies. So, this is just a short little introduction that our bodies are actually very, very important because we are the conduit between stars and earth matter. It's our body. So, our bodies are what's letting in all of the light, it's what's increasing our vibration, it's what's putting our frequency out to be connected to everyone else and everything else on earth. So, that's kind of in a nutshell. Before I go any further, any questions so far from anyone? I think I will just pause there and see if anyone has any questions. If you put them in the chat, that would be great. At the end, I'll take other questions and you guys can use the hand raising function. I think that should work, but this is sort of a test run. Okay. Okay. So, that being said, all of our thoughts and all of our feelings and all of our emotions that we're always emitting are always going somewhere. So when people are saying the lower matrix, or people are saying, like, let's exit out of the matrix, or things like that, what they really mean is this energy field that has kind of been in control on Earth that we are all linked to. However, we really weren't aware of that. So the shift to New Earth is the increased consciousness, which is just a fancy word for awareness. So now we're all becoming aware of everything outside of ourselves, everything within ourselves. And that is what's bringing about the higher dimension process and the more light on Earth. So this awareness is super key because we may be just going about our days thinking when we're having these negative thoughts or we're really feeling annoyed by someone and something, an issue is really getting to us, we may be thinking it's happening in isolation and that it's just really not impacting anyone. And we may not even be aware it's impacting ourselves, actually. However, I'm here to say everything is interconnected and everything impacts everything. So that brings me to when I was saying about our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, all connecting to somewhere, starting to become aware of what we want to plug into and what we want to unsubscribe from. So, what do we want to plug into? The evolutionary goal as our consciousness rises is to really plug into unconditional, pure love for all, recognition we are all one, unity, we are not separate from each other, and primarily unplug from fear. So that brings us to the topic really of this meeting, which is how do we exit all of the fear and the chaos right now that seems to be surrounding the planet? I don't know if everyone's can feel that this year. 2025 is a big year. 2025 is a pivotal year. Before it started, my guides told me to buckle up. and and it's been true. Uh, um, Everything feels more amplified. So becoming aware of that is really, really the key to navigating this with our own sovereignty and intention. Okay, so all of this being said, I went to see How to Train Your Dragon. I don't know if any of you have seen this, the new live action movie. You can put in the chat if you've seen it if you want. And if not, it's okay. And it's a remake, but I find it so divine that it was actually remade for 2025 and released. Because I started out watching this movie in the theaters and I did not like it. It was very violent and it was actually amazing. I mean, the dragon seemed very real life, and I knew nothing about this movie before we went to see it. I actually fell asleep a little bit at the beginning too. I was very tired and I was really not vibrationally matched with it. But I'm like, okay, I can't leave. I'm here. All the kids are here. They're all loving this. So I stayed, and it was, and I was so happy for that because I started seeing the parallels to what's happening on Earth within this movie. And I was wondering if everyone else was seeing this as they were watching it. So I wrote a bunch of notes down when I came home, and I'm like, I feel like this is going to be my first thing that I want to talk about because sometimes you can talk about all these concepts and people are like, oh, okay, I'm really sick of hearing these buzzwords and all of that's being shoved down my throat. And it's like, let's just bring it into concrete examples, exactly how it can play out in my dreams, because I'm here with all my visions. That's part of my role here is to kind of put out all these visions of beautiful unity that I see coming that are might be hard for others to see, but if I start putting them out there, others can latch onto them as well. Okay, so the main character, Hiccup, he's not a fighter. He does not want to fight. And he's forced into this fighting world because it's how everyone has done it since the dawn of time. They don't even know what they're fighting anymore. And I'm like, this is exactly what's happening here. No one knows what they're fighting, and they're scared of each other. So these people on this land, they were scared of the dragons because they thought the dragons were going to eat them. And Hiccup was the lone soul kind of immersed in that matrix who was like, I really can't kill a dragon because I can't harm another. And decided he was going to kind of step out of that paradigm of fear and try to be friends with this one dragon who everyone feared. And every time he picked up a weapon, the dragon would want to fight him. And so he'd pick up the weapon and the dragon would attack him. And so he finally worked up to just putting his weapons down. And he was such a great actor. As I was watching this, I was like, this is amazing because he truly embodied peace. And this is one of the trailers that they show when you went to the movies. And I actually think you can stream it now, but I felt the peace come over him as an actor, as this character Hiccup. He put his weapon down and he placed his hand out with his head away on the dragon's head and basically telepathically said, I come in peace. And that set off a relationship between he and this dragon who, from since the dawn of time, these two species of people have been warring. So this is very parallel to Earth right now. You can come up with, at least 10, 20 examples off the top of your head of who's at war with each other right now. There's facets of this that are endless. And so it just takes every individual person to put their weapon down, put their hand out in peace, and come with that energy. And it has to come with the energy to kind of slowly shift the vibration, as we talked about at the beginning. Okay, so what I wrote down, I'm just going to glance at my notes. Bear with me. They both had fear inside. The people and the dragons, they both carried the fear. What made the shift is that Hiccup, the main character, saw the fear and understood they were the same. He, and that is all it took. He put the weapon down. The dragon was like, "Oh wait, I feel that energy. I feel that peace. We are the same. Why are we fighting? I'm not even sure anymore. It's just been going on for so long. Okay, I'm with you. Let's show them together how we can unite." So the fascinating thing about the movie as it went on to the end, I'm sorry that this is a spoiler alert. It's not, it is and it's not. However, the dragon brought Hiccup on this whole journey of like, here's why we're in fear and why we fight. And it ended up showing the queen who basically was hidden away, the queen of the dragons, who kind of made everyone go out and feed her fear. So they didn't even know why they were doing it. She wanted food. And so they would go collect the humans and the animals and stuff and bring them back to the queen's lair that was super protected and, hidden, and no one wanted to like go against her. They brought all the food back and they dropped it in her mouth, and she would command them to go back out and bring her more fear. And that was so profound to me because I was like, this is exactly what is happening right now. When we're unaware of what our fear is feeding, we are feeding this system, this, paradigm that wants to just shatter and break, this paradigm of separation, this paradigm of fear, this paradigm really of the mind. We're trying to shatter and just live with peace and love and harmony. But we don't know until we know. So we don't know anything until we know it, right? So now we know it. So I'm just here to share that. And so once Hiccup, the main character, saw, okay, everyone's just feeding this queen. Let's stop feeding the queen. She's keeping us fighting each other, and she's getting all our food. So on Earth parallel, the system, that lower matrix I talked about at the beginning, is being fed by our energy. So we don't want to give it that food anymore, right? So I just thought that was pretty cool. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. Okay. So the queen or the powers that be on Earth are feeding off the energy, keeping everyone fighting. Okay. When in reality, we are all the same. All the humans are the same. And actually, we're made of the same divine, amazing light and love as the trees, the animals, the plants, all the beautiful things. Okay, so this is how we integrate polarity into unification by seeing that we are the same and seeing that we have the same fear as everyone else and just working on it together. First, working on it in ourselves after we see it in someone else. Last year, my guides showed me what if a scenario, and it really does parallel this How to Train Your Dragon. What if all the soldiers who walked onto a battlefield just put their weapons down? Because when the soldiers walk onto a battlefield, they have to be scared, and my heart goes out to them. But the other side has to be equally scared. What if they see each other as the same? What would happen then? And I just thought that was so beautiful. And so I really do a lot of times just hold that vision. Um, when we are afraid to see the fear inside of ourselves, we attack what's outside of ourselves. So I guess this leads us to what can we do about all of this? And it is to choose to see our deepest fears inside of ourselves and shine all that light on it and really give it a ton of love because we're all doing our best and we've all been through a lot. And what we've signed up for here is really, really challenging, but I know we can all do it. So, what is it that we fear? We always have something. For me, ironically, it's a fear of being seen. So, I had to work through that this whole past year. And this goes soul deep. Lots of soul memories that have come up. Not even only on Earth and other on other planets and star systems of putting myself out there and having a tragedy take place or something. So I've really, really had to work through that. So here I am. Okay. Um, okay. So when we see our deepest fear and our biggest wounds, then we stop fighting perceived threats. And perceived is such a key word here because we are really trying to break through the jail our mind has put us in and the stories our mind has created over all of these fears. And we're really just trying to get to the heart of the love for ourselves and the fact that every single person here on earth is love and light, no matter their journey, no matter if they've forgotten it, remembered it. That's just a universal truth that I live by. Okay, so let me look at the rest. Um, that wraps up the parallels between how to train your dragon. And I don't know if when I'm recording this, anyone can see the chat or not. I'm so technologically challenged. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm doing my best. Okay, I want to go into like some practical things we can do to navigate all of this energy on Earth when it starts to feel chaotic. It starts to feel like chaos and it wants to suck us in. And so our job is to not get sucked in. And it's so hard because sometimes it's going on right next door. In my case, I have a lot of chaos next door to me. And I've had to learn how do I stay in my peace, my groundedness, my centeredness. How do I find love for someone completely disrupting everything around me? How do I find love for that person? And this is how we can move through any situation in life. If someone doesn't understand us and we feel someone is attacking us, how do we just come back to love for ourselves and love that part of ourselves? And then it doesn't matter what anyone else says. And I know that sounds cliche, but that is sincerely the way forward. Okay, so cultivating peace from within. It's hard to meditate. I know if you don't do it regularly, it takes a lot of practice. And if you're resistant to it, I'm going to say, as we said in Sarah's Lo-Fi for the Soul podcast, just take one little step outside your comfort zone a little bit at a time. And I am going to quickly plug Sarah, her amazing podcast, Lo-Fi for the Soul. And you can find that wherever podcasts are on. I had a guest spot on that last week, and we had a really beautiful conversation. And everything she brings is beautiful information. But if you're feeling resistant to meditating or sitting in silence, envision yourself in the circle of resistance and then just ask yourself to just take one little step outside of it that day, just one step. And I always give little cheats, and this is how I started as well. When I first woke up in the morning, or if I wake up in the middle of the night, which happens very, very often, like 3:30, 4 in the morning. Sometimes 4:30 is my wake up call. I just lay in bed. Like some people have a vision, a image in their head. I must go sit on my meditation mat every time. And yes, I hope you work up to that because there is something to be said for this energy coming through the straight spinal column. However, right now we're just trying to cultivate peace inside. And if that's laying down, that's perfectly fine. Go ahead and start there. When you first wake up in the morning, lay there. Put your hand on your heart. Take some really deep breaths. Do something outside your comfort zone and ask your everyone has angelic guides. Everyone has a team of guides. The whole earth right now is supported by high vibrational beings of light during this transition we're going through. Ask for them to come in and show you what peace feels like. Ask them to come in and show you what unconditional love in your heart feels like. I've been here for a really long time, and just this past year, I started feeling that when I've been asking, and I was actually really surprised how I really hadn't truly felt that before here because everything is very dense here on Earth, and it's okay. It's getting better. Everything's going to be okay. But when you first feel that really radiating from inside your heart center, it's like this warmth that comes through, this warmth that comes out your heart. It it radiates. It's beautiful. See if you can hold that for as long as you can. It may be a minute, maybe 5 minutes. So you can really start there because once you start your day out just in that area of like peace, and that's what your feeling is, it becomes more memory in your body. And as you meet scenarios as the day goes on, you can fall back to that feeling. And then you can work up little increments at a time in meditation. Okay, so I wrote that down as the first thing. The second thing I just said, consciously intend, conscious intention. This has made a huge difference as well this year in my year of cocooning. Journaling, I was resistant to. So sometimes I just speak out loud. And I find speaking out loud, even though all our thoughts in our head are amplified and go out, sometimes just the act of speaking it out loud makes it a little bit more potent. So you can just say, I intend to meet the world with love today. I intend to not engage in a fight today. If someone tries to push my button today, I intend to walk away. Or I intend to just quietly send peace to that person, quietly send compassion to that person, because I was that person one time. I was that person this life. I was that person another life. We've all had every role. Um, okay, the third one I wrote down, I touched on a little bit ago, shining light on our fears. So really getting to know yourself and not being afraid of it. Because once you shine that light on the fears, it's like, hi, hey, you, there you are. And the fear's like, hi. And then it's not down deep in the shadow part anymore. And now you've made room for more light to enter your field. Sometimes we don't know what all of our fears are. So I would ask you to really sit with that, maybe in a couple of those moments of uncomfortable silence that I'm asking you to sit in. Just be like, what am I really afraid of? And then see how it relates to maybe your biggest, sometimes our biggest fears are our biggest gifts. So, how it might relate to what you're really here to embody. Okay, number four, recognize who you are in battle with and how you can disengage. And this might be an entire other topic of polarity. And you can see this playing out in so many places. I brought this up in Sarah's podcast as well. At the very fundamental level, it's our governmental system that's me versus you. It's just two. It's right and wrong. Anytime there's a black and white, that is an opportunity to engage in a fight of polarity. So how can you just step outside, even if you're feeling attacked? If you're feeling attacked, that goes back to the third one of shining light on why you feel attacked and what that's bringing in and how to cultivate that love inside you. But kind of stepping out of that battle and watching it like it's a theater. That's what I've been encouraged to do these past couple of years because that puts you in the energy of neutrality. And that's far better than the energy of fear and battle and war inside, which we talked about where our energy is going. So that kind of sums that up. Okay. Once you can move out of neutrality to love and compassion, that's even better. That's just a side note. Okay. And I think that's about it. I did put a fifth one down, but I feel like it's pretty much the same as the others. Asking yourself, where do you feel separate? Where do you feel separate from or separate than? And then maybe try to find a commonality of how you're the same and just kind of feeling that into your field. Okay, we actually are the same, like the two soldiers on the battlefield, both in fear. That's a commonality. They are actually united, even though they're acting out of war. Okay, so that kind of is the state of the earth and what we can all do individually about it because every single person matters. Every single person's energy matters. And purely just our conscious awareness of that is like 90% of the battle. And that's about it for today. So I will take any questions. This is going to be, I'm going to, you guys can put them in the chat if you want, or um, I think there's a raise your hand function, and I'm not sure if if I can use it. And if you would like to not be on a Zoom recording that will be uploaded, you can keep your camera off for sure. And if there are no questions, that's okay too. And if there's any comments, I'll take those. Um, but if not, um, okay, I see a raised hand and oh my goodness, how do I do that? Um, oh my goodness. This is this is just this is so
So Lisa,
amazing. Yes.
with the raised hand, I can also lower it. I don't know if you have the function to like call on it, but if you see who raises their hand, then you can just go, okay, you, and then they can like
How
I
do
can.
I yeah, how do I like highlight you though?
Oh, that I don't know.
I know. Okay, well, I can hear you right now, so I don't know if others can hear. So, do you want to say your question and and then I will answer it, and then I will look into this before the next video chat.
Anissa, can you hear me? And then yeah, she's nodding. So
Okay, so we can hear you. Go
yeah,
ahead.
just maybe not see me. I don't know.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that we can't see you because I'm technologically challenged.
Oh, Anissa can see me. Maybe it's just you because you have like a
Okay.
presenter or something.
Okay. I mean, I could remove the spotlight. I just don't know if everyone wants to be on the recording. I think that's my thing. I was just trying to protect privacy. But go ahead. Go ahead, Sarah.
So you said 2025.
Hmm.
It's a bumpy ride. Yeah, it's quite intense. I've heard you say on a different somewhere else in one of our other conversations that 2026 will be really intense as well. Do you know in what ways it'll be intense? Will it be like the same energy? Will there be a shift? What have they told you about 2026?
That's a great question. I have not consciously veered into that realm anymore. I just have a trajectory in my head of like hang tight, buckle up, stay in, the power of what you can emit, all of that. And so I'm going to go back to 2025 actually, because this is going to, I think, continue into 2026. It feels very much to me like the theme of 2025 was how do we detach? How do we detach from what we thought of as our identity or detach from it could be even our materialistic things. Like as we kind of see systems, institutions, and things built in fear and sort of corruption and all of that, as we see the spotlight shining down this year of everything that's not working, how do we feel safe no matter what happens around us? And so, an exercise they do for us, for me, is they put me in and have me visualize a pillar of light from above to below, show me where I am in my surroundings, and then they crumble and dissolve everything beneath me. And they show that I'm still in this pillar of light, completely safe, protected, loved as we move through this, no matter what happens, no matter if um, all the systems, crash and dissolve. Like it's okay. Like we're all here, we're safe and supported. So, what I have a feeling is 2025 is the start of another mass awakening where this is triggering stuff in people like, hey, there's more than I was aware of. Like, there's more than meets the eye. This is what they always tell me. There's more unseen than seen out there within and without. Everything is a mirror. So, anyway, more people are waking up to that in 2025. I feel like then 2026 is going to be a continuation of that awareness, and now more embodied action of the awakened souls. That's what I think if I had to say, because this year is like a I don't know. I'm gonna try to translate this. Right now, I'm just in a bumpy car. Like they're showing me you're in a bumpy car, but the bumps are kind of jarring stuff within you. And it's like, okay, I'm gonna go on this journey. I'm still on this bumpy road, 2026. Okay, now I've got to figure out how to smooth the road out. And that's where a lot of that inner work for every single person who is on that path is going to continue to take place.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're welcome. Anything else? Anyone else? Or does anyone have any questions? Okay, I have a chat question. How do I get back to the chat? Oh, main chat, I see. Okay. How do we shine a light on our fears? That is such a great question. I think I would say this. It's really getting to know your true, authentic self outside of how everyone else has told you are, outside of any stories, outside of all of that. I think it's number one, coming into the body and recognizing when you feel scared. I think it's going to start out as simple as that. Like, when do I feel scared? So I'm going to put this into a personal story last year. Every single time. So as you can hear on the podcast I was on with Sarah, um, every single as I tried to launch this, what I was thinking of at the time as a spiritual business, and now I know it's more just, me embodying what I'm here to bring to the world, and I had to integrate it because I needed to have this understanding in order to share this stuff with the world. First, I needed to work through it myself. So last year when I started to bring this out, I am on social media for everyone that knows me. I do not like social media. I don't like anything. I don't like it to be out there. It's not my favorite way to do anything. And every time I went to post something on Instagram, I would actually have a nervous system response. I'd be like, I actually would have a tightness in my chest. I would record a video and then be like, I can't put that there. No, I don't like it, and then I would, all the way leading up to the posting of the video, which already is anxiety because I don't even know I still don't really know how to work Instagram. So for anyone following me, I apologize. Um, but I stopped and I was like, this isn't the way. I'm not going to be forcing myself through a nervous system dysregulation. That makes no sense for what I'm trying to bring to the world. And I completely went silent. I'm like, I'm not doing it. And then I spent the year kind of investigating that thread. Why do I, why don't I want to be seen? Why? And it's like I really cared, I think last year, maybe way more what people thought of the message I was bringing out. I think that was part of it. I think it was like part perfectionism. So, like, I had to dig in a little bit, but I started where I felt that feeling of constriction in my chest. Now, to others, it may feel like your stomach is in knots. You may physically have stomach, your body is the one that talks to you. So you may physically have stomach pains. You may get headaches. Uh, Pay attention. One of my favorite things to first suggest to everyone is just completely do not watch the news. Unsubscribe from the news. Anything coming into your field is impacting you. So be very, very pure and pristine of what you are bringing in to your field. And I'm not saying be ignorant, and I'm not saying don't be aware of what's happening. You have to be. Everyone does. However, when it makes you, and this could be TV shows. I stopped watching, crime shows that I used to just be a distraction and like to watch because I found I was sitting on the couch with a knot in my chest. And so feeling that fear was the same as me creating that fear. So, how do we shine light on the fears? By recognizing when our body feels the fear and then tracing that thread back with that spotlight of what just happened. What am I trying to do? And like pause, take it slow, go through some breath works, get super curious. Like just ask yourself a bunch of questions like, am I scared because I'm really scared? Is this an illusion? Is this something from childhood that's just resurfacing? How can I kind of go back and just collect that part of myself and give it a big hug? Right now, how can I find that center of peace? How can I find that radiating love in my core? And again, it's a little easier when the veil is thinnest first thing in the morning. I'm just going to say that between the hours of like 3 to 5 a.m. I find that's the easiest way to feel that peace and love. Um, does that help at all? Is that okay? I'm glad. And if not, please continue on and just say, nope, that didn't help. I'm, you know, it's all good here. So, so anyway, actually, to finish that whole story, now I've been kind of reemerged and I'm going to start posting these videos for replay on YouTube. And also, I have to then I have to put things out on social media and just say, "Hey, everyone, do you want to sign up?" Otherwise, no one's going to know I'm doing anything, which is also a form of hiding. So I want to face my fear as well. But something interesting that's happened is that I don't have the nervous system response anymore when I've been posting videos and posts because I have somehow worked through with all of that spotlight shining this year and just the internal questions, curiosity. I've worked through caring what anyone else is going to think about what I say. So I'm okay because I know everyone's opinions of everything, including my own, is just a reflection of their own evolutionary state and their own opinions of themselves. So, um, okay. So, does anyone else have anything to say or any questions?
I just loved your breakdown of How to Train Your Dragon because I think that's a fantastic movie. And I remember, like, I watched it, the original, when it came out. It was only 10 years ago, or so. It's not that old. And this year, I was so shocked when I found out they made a remake. It made
Yeah.
no sense to me.
Yes.
I was like, it's too soon. You're gonna have to animate the dragons anyway. It felt very out of left field. But what you're saying is it was this subconscious drive to get the message out there again because it's so relevant.
Yes.
I think that's so cool.
Yep. It was very timely. It was no accident. It was 2025. And this is going to come up in the future. I want to do it maybe closer to the Wicked 2 release, but that's a whole other. we'll do another live call on Wicked Part One because that just blew my mind as well. I'm like, this is so timely, and it makes me comforted to know like everyone is here for this transition in full force, supported. Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited for that.
Yeah. So thank you, everyone. I apologize for the technical things. I'm going to stop recording now so that then we can just say goodbye. But I love you all. Thank you for everyone who's taken the time to listen and watch this. I'm going to figure out how to create a YouTube channel and upload it. So hopefully you will subscribe if you're watching this. And I'm going to stop the recording now.